Okay, this is take 2. It might actually be take 3 or 4, but we're gonna try one last time. So I apologies if you got multiple notifications for a live stream. So everything looks like it's working now. If you're just hopping on, thank you for joining, and forgive the technical difficulties. So here we are. What my intention was to really ask for questions and have this be a space instead of the monthly gathering that I have been doing on a video call, to try to kind of keep it on the YouTube platform. So we'll see how it goes. So one of the questions that I did receive was, what should I be looking for when I ask myself the question, what is here? So if you've been watching the videos for a while and you have and you're familiar with the map and the essential toolkit, I talk a lot about asking ourselves these guiding questions. And the first one that I always offer is, what is here? And so right now, for the one viewer that's watching right now, you can really ask yourself, what is here? And so this person that asked me the question is asking, well, what does that question really mean? And I know for a lot of people, it can be kind of an open question. What does that really mean to ask what is here? And so for me, the question is really about so much of our day, so much of our tendencies are about looking outward, paying attention to what's out there. And our attention is very scattered. There's so much sensory information coming in, probably even more so now than ever with technology. And so this is about really it's actually quite radical to be, letting everything external fade away and turning inward. Okay, what is right here? And so the question really does ask us to come inside and say, what's going on inside? And yes, it's an embodied practice. So it's not just, what's going on in the mind, what emotions are happening, but really in the sensory information in the body. And I always insist on staying with sensory information in the body. And by the way, if you've just come in, hello. I know we kind of got disconnected once or twice. So thank you for rejoining. And I'm just answering a first question right now. So if you're just joining, and it looks like the live chat isn't working, at least on my side, I have an error message. So if you are able to put something in the chat, then please do so. And if you can't, then we'll just flow with the question that we have right now. So the question is, what should I be looking for when I ask myself the question, what is here? And so I really guide, in the way that I teach, I really guide us to come back into the body. It's not about saying what's going on in the world around, but it's really about what's going on in here. And there's an intimacy that develops when we, with practice, keep doing that U-turn and coming into what is here right now. And this intimacy is getting to know the body really well, and getting to know the body as a source of truth, as a source of all of this really helpful information that can help us really notice beyond any thoughts that the mind might be trying to spin for us, which can not be always very truthful. The body is very, very truthful. So getting to know your body, your tendencies really, really well, you kind of cut through any of these stories up here, and you can really connect with, okay, this is the information that I'm getting from the body. And with practice, you get to know your own tendencies so well. So you know that, okay, if I have tension in the jaw here, if I have, a little bit of tightness and even a very, very subtle gripping, and you get to know and you get to catch yourself, you get to recognize these signs more and more the more you practice. And you kind of get to know, okay, when I feel that shallowness of the breath, and you might be, as I'm talking right now, kind of noticing in your own body what you can notice and what you can pay attention to. It's like, okay, when I'm doing that, that's when I'm really stuck in that story. That's when I'm really, gripping. That's when I'm really not relaxed. And so, this question, what is here, helps us to come back and really develop this intimacy with the body, getting to know these signals, these messages, this really amazing compass, I call it, this inner compass. And not only does the body help us notice what's actually going on, but it's also this amazing instrument that now, through the body, through rolling the shoulders back and relaxing and taking a big breath and relaxing the belly and kind of kind of softening all over, you can actually also, the body can be a pathway, an instrument to regulate, to come back into calm, to bring back balance when we've lost balance. And by the way, sometimes when we listen, sometimes it can be, it can take a while to really develop this skill of listening to the body and recognizing what's happening. So it's really important to be gentle and patient with yourself, depending on where you are in your personal practice. And it is enough to ask the question and just sit and listen. It is enough to be with the question without finding an answer. So I think that's really important. Right now, wherever you are, we can ask ourselves, okay, what is here? And you don't have to chase for an answer. You don't have to chase for a fix. It's possible to just sit with that question. One of the themes that keeps coming up for me and that I really wanted to bring up today in this gathering is this paying attention, this asking ourselves this question that prompts us. And really, what it's prompting us to do is pay attention, right? This act of paying attention is really an act of care, and I would say an act of love, right? So, this idea, paying attention as love, paying attention as care. So, a lot of you have been reaching out with messages. There's a lot going on in my home country of Iran right now, for example. And that paying attention, having friends that are just paying attention, noticing what's going on, and then sending messages, that is love. That is care. That is compassion. And so that, again, that's what we're offering ourselves, is just that act of paying attention. Well, what is actually happening in here? And a lot of times that's enough, and again, a lot of times when I'm speaking about these well-being practices, we're not talking about extreme trauma. We're not talking about extreme states of dysregulation. We're talking about everyday management of stress. And in those moments, sometimes it is enough to pay attention, to pause, pay attention. And again, paying attention is that act of love, is that act of care. And sometimes that's enough to bring some regulation, bring some rebalancing, and bring some calm. Another thing, when I was offering this in workshops and programs, sometimes when you ask yourself, what is here? The answer might be, there is hunger. There is a need for food. There is a need for rest. So sometimes, very, very simple. We don't have to, make this practice complicated. Sometimes you get quiet and you notice, you ask yourself, what is here? You pay attention and you notice that you just need a snack. You need to leave the room and go lie down. You need to go have a rest. And just that simple, it sounds so elementary in some ways, but I think in modern life, we can get really caught up and not even notice, because we're so disconnected from the body, not even notice what we need in that moment. So really, really simple, paying attention, noticing what is here. And then if there's something that we notice that we need, we can offer that to ourselves. And so paying attention as a form of love as this something that we do. By the way, that reminds me, this idea of paying attention as an action. I was doing some research, and in different languages, it's really interesting how they put paying attention. So In English, we say paying attention, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. It's something that you pay, which kind of makes it sound not so great. But on the other hand, it is a resource. It is something that if we're paying attention here, we have less attention to spend somewhere else. So the idea of spending attention or paying attention is interesting. Kind of makes sense, but it's kind of interesting. In French, faire attention, you do attention. So again, attention as action, love as action. I really like that. In Spanish, the way that they say it is like lending attention, which is interesting. In Mandarin Chinese is kind of different. It's something more like you concentrate. It's where you direct your mental energy, which is kind of cool. And in German, it's gifting attention, which is really beautiful. You kind of like offer attention as a gift, as this act of generosity, which is really beautiful. So, anyways, just a few reflections, and really all of that to highlight the importance of paying attention and the simplicity of it. And it's like it's not an elementary practice, right? You could be very, very practiced, seasoned, and I think this is something with the way that our brains are and the way that our world is. There's always room to learn and practice paying attention. And again, connecting with the body as a source of truth, not necessarily paying attention to the thoughts. We can notice the thoughts and we can say, yes, I hear you. And then really dropping into the body as a more truthful source of what's actually going on. So, thank you for those that have hopped on. I'm going to keep this one short. I know we had some connection issues. If you're just coming in now, thank you for hopping in. We did get disconnected once or twice, and so I relaunched it. I always feel nervous about relaunching because I think everyone who's a subscriber gets a notification when I go live, and sometimes it can be a bit much with all the notifications that we get. But thank you for the question, and thank you for being here for this experimental first live stream. Again, just a chance to really connect. If you're someone who's connected with me through any of the platforms and messages me, you know that sometimes it can be really overwhelming to get caught up on messages, and I do my best to really stay connected with as many of you as I can. And this is a way I'm finding that if it works out and we like it, I can do this once a month. It's an easier way for me to stay connected with more and answer more questions, and it might be kind of fun. And we can do it in different ways. Right now I'm just in my studio, but there's so many different ways to do it. Could be even moving around, and yeah. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I really wish that the live stream was working so I could hear from all of you. But again, if you're just coming in, the window that I would usually get live stream messages and comments is I'm getting an error message there. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm happy that I was able to reconnect. I am happy. Again, thank you for all of those of you who have been sending out messages of care with everything going on in my home country. And there are a lot of different mixed feelings, but there is hope. And yeah, feeling really grateful for the practice these days. And so I hope that, yeah, you have your own guiding questions, your own version of things that really work for you. And yeah, basically help you pay attention as an act of love and care to yourself. Because that's where it starts, right? Yes, we want the world to be better. Yes, we want to show up for those that we care about. But it really starts right here, and paying attention and kind of getting back to a place where we are recharged, we are rebalanced, and then we can do better work in the world, show up better for each other. So feel free to connect with me off YouTube if there's anything, since YouTube didn't let us really communicate and send messages. Thank you again. I don't think I have anything else to share. Yeah, just thank you for all of those who have been watching the videos. I know that the channel has been growing very slowly. I wish I could do YouTube and teach meditation and teach well-being programs full time, but for those of you who are on the call now, we're a little bit more of an intimate group. So I can say I'm actively looking for a full-time job right now. So I want to keep doing a lot of this, but it will be on the side until I can really make it my full time job to do this, which is really really where my heart is and really what I love to do. So thank you for everyone who's been here, whenever you've joined from the beginning or somewhere in the middle, and I appreciate the support. And I hope that I can be here for you because the idea is not for you guys to be supporting me. The idea is for me to really be supporting you. So please continue to connect. Please continue to ask questions. And if there are more direct ways, if you want to work one-on-one, I'm open to that. I will be posting more offerings for that soon. So thank you. Have a wonderful Sunday wherever you are, and appreciate you so much. Bye.